Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to L Dubs Boxing. We back with another one. So, of course, we back with the IBF rankings. They just came out today. So, we're going to run down each division and see what's up with it. Before I do that, I want to salute everybody coming through the building. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Feel free to drop a comment in the comment section when you listen to the playback or you're in the live chat. Feel free to tap in. Y'all know how we do. We're going to do a screen share of these rankings. You go straight to the IBF website, and check it out. That's how we rocking. My man JC in the building. What's good with you, bro? Oh, it's all good, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. My man Kyle in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute. So we're gonna get to it, man. This show you guys what's going on. See can we find some matchups and stuff like that, and see what's going on with these rankings. So starting with the heavyweight division, we got Usyk is the unified champion. It looks like he's going to face Fury sometime in March or late February. That's what they're saying. So we're going to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to that because we haven't had Undisputed in a while in heavyweight. Yabe in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute to you. Um, but looking at these rankings, though, nothing really changed. Like, you know what I'm saying? From last month, Herkovich is still the mandatory. He probably won't get that fight with Usyk, even though they ordered that fight. He probably won't get that fight. He'll probably just fight somebody in the meantime. So we'll see who he fight. But 3 through 15, it's the same thing. It's nothing changed. So really not too much to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting for guys like Deontay and Andrew Ruiz. If they're going to fight, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to wait for their next move and stuff like that. So really nothing really to talk about with them. Cruiserweight, same thing. Nothing changed. Only it was one minor change. Floyd Masson came on at number 12. But other than that, it's pretty much solid. You got the champion, Jay Abataya. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a broken jaw and he had some other legal issues going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure with him. And Nally in the building. Salute to you. Good evening. What's good with you? Salute. So I'm not sure when he's coming back, but he has a number one contender. Massinek won an eliminator. Richard Rapport won an eliminator. Richard Rapport should be back. I want to say on the undercard of Eubank versus Liam Smith in January. Chris Bennett Smith, he's number 3. He's coming back December the 17th. And I think that's we see David Light. So David Light, number 9 contender right here. He's the mandatory for Lawrence Okoli in the WBO. So they just ordered that fight today. So they'll probably have something the top of the new year. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Lawrence Okoli is going through a situation with Matchroom, so hopefully he can get out of that, and you know what I'm saying, can continue his career. Light heavyweight, we got Arthur Beterbiev, the unified champion. We know he got Anthony Yard January 28th. So that should be a fun fight. That's a WBO mandatory. And these rankings haven't changed either. Only thing like minor change is number 15, McCory. He comes in at number 15 after that win he had a couple of months ago. He actually fighting next week. You know what I'm saying? No, he actually fighting Saturday on the Michael Conlon undercard. Excuse me. So yeah, so he's staying active. Let me see who got something coming. John Pascal, he's gonna fight the number 6 contender Michael Efert for the IBF final eliminator. I think that's February the 9th, if I believe, in Canada. I think they got that fight made. Dan Aziz, number 9, he's fighting December the 17th. He's facing Rocky Fielding, so that could be a good fight. Callum Smith looking to come back March the 11th. So yeah. We'll see. Bawaxi, that's another one. Joshua Bawaxi may get the Dimitri Bivol fight. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stay tuned for that. 168, we got Canelo undisputed. He talking about comeback in May. Looking like it's John Ryder, but who knows? It's really hard to tell with Canelo because he's a cash cow. He can pretty much fight anybody. You feel me? He can pretty much fight anybody. So we'll see. If he's looking to take in a so-called tune-up, I mean, I guess he got his mandatory right here, number 1 contender, William Skull. So maybe that's a fight he take if he try to fight in Mexico. William Skull is from Cuba, so I don't know how that works out. But I think John Ryder may be the front runner. So we'll see. And no changes in this one. We know Caleb Plant versus Benavidez is supposed to go down March 18th. That's a big fight. Berlanga should be back in March, I think. February or March. I know he's coming off his suspension. His suspension ends this weekend. So we'll see. My man Tay in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute. We got a so December 17th, we got an IBF eliminator for the number 2 spot. Y'all see number 2 is vacant. It'll be the number 7 contender, Jose Uzcategui, versus the number 9 contender, Vladimir Shishkin. That would be on the undercard of Frank Martin versus Michelle Rivera. So that's a pretty decent fight. 168. You know what I'm saying? Those guys match up real well. So yes, sir. We'll see what's good with that. We're moving down 160. So we got Triple G is a unified champion. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do. I know he's supposed to face Lara. He got 2 mandatories, Lara and Falcao. The WBA ordered Lara, but they kind of agreed for Triple G to face Falcao. They supposed to be fighting in in March in Kazakhstan. That's a hometown fight, a home country fight for Triple G. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a big change in these rankings because Jaime Munguia was number 3 last month. This month, he's not even rated. So I don't even know what's going on. And it's crazy because Jaime Munguia, his post-fight, he talking about fighting Triple G. So in the WBA rankings that I did last week, he's not in those rankings as well. So if he's not in the WBA rankings or the IBF rankings, how you gonna fight Triple G unless it's a catch weight? So I don't know. I just want to alert everybody what's going on. So we'll see. That's just it's strange to me. But looking at the rankings though, let me see who got something coming. Number 8, Phyllis Cash. He's fighting on Saturday on the Warrington and Lopez undercard. So if he wins, he got Mo Williams. So that should be a pretty good fight. And it's like a shot in the arm for 160, which is down right now. We got new entry, Stephen Butler. Stephen Butler fights out of Canada. He's a big puncher. He's been stopped a couple of times, but he can fight though. He's fighting December the 16th on ESPN Plus. So check out for him. Watch out for him. 154, you got Jamel Charlo, undisputed. He got Tim Tszyu, January 28th. You know what I'm saying? That's the WBO mandatory. They got IBF has a mandatory back on Max Zaliev. He's been mandatory for a minute, so I'm not sure. But he been taking PBC step aside money by the way of fights. So we'll see if that continues. Maybe he gets on that undercard. You know what I'm saying? He been fighting on the last couple of Charlo undercards. He fought on Tim Tszyu's undercard in his PBC debut versus Goucher last March. So we'll see. Jack Koke. So these rankings pretty much stays the same. The only change is Josh Kelly. He comes in number 8. He replaces Troy Williamson, who he beat last weekend. Dominant performance, unanimous decision. So he's right there in line. Maybe he can make a title run. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. 147. We got Spence unified champion. Waiting to hear an announcement for him. See if we're going to face Spence. See if we're going to face Keith Thurman. That's been the word on the streets. We'll see. Boots, Gerard Boots Anderson's number 1. We seen he just got his opponent. I broke this down on the channel a bunch of times, yo. Hopefully you guys caught that before anybody else because it's been out there for a minute. But he's facing Karen Shazaki Kanian. I can't pronounce his name. But Karen is 21-1. He's from the Ukraine. He fights out of Germany. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is why I like to do the rankings. I want to say like July or something, he was number 9. And then he jumped up to number 4 without having a fight. So that right there let me know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's a high jump for a guy that's unheralded. And he jumped over Keith Thurman. And at the time it was Conor Benn. So he jumped over those guys. And I'm like, damn, who is this guy? So now we know he got the Jerron Boots in his fight for the IBF interim title. So we'll see what comes to that. I expect Boots to win that fight probably like 3 rounds, to be honest. So it's some interesting moves too. So on that undercard, Tank Davis, you also got Rashidi Ellis versus Ramon Villa. Villa last month was number 12. He jumped up 3 spots. He was number 13. He jumped up a couple of spots. Um, so he's in the top 10. So he's eligible. They can make that they can make that an eliminator. Y'all see, number 2 is vacant. So if Boots looking for opponents and stuff like that, it's hard to get them opponents. Then these guys is already on the same schedule. They top 10 the IBF. They can make that an eliminator. So Boots can have a guaranteed 2 fights. You know what I'm saying? He got this fight coming up January the 7th. And he can face the winner between Rashidi Ellis and Villa that's going to be on that same card. So y'all see the plays like that. You know what I'm saying? When these guys' fights get announced, that's when you go to the rankings as well, so you can see any type of movement. And normally that's what happens, and that's what happened in this case right here with Villa. All right, 140. So we got a vacant title right here. So these guys got a fight made. February the 11th, it's looking like Jeremiah Ponce versus Sabiro Matisse. This fight been long awaited, anticipated, supposed to have been happen. I'm glad they got a date, so we'll see what's good with that. Then that can make some clarity in 140. You know what I'm saying? Already a hot division. We seen Regis win the world title. Josh Taylor supposed to be coming back in March versus Catterall. We got Teofimo this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Jose Ramirez still out there. You got Alberto Playo. So there's a lot of smoke at 140. Gary Antonio Russell. Well, Gary Antoine Russell. I mean, if you look at these rankings, I mean, it's a lot of tough guys right here. You know what I'm saying? So Steve Spark, he replaces Montana Love in the rankings at number 8. So maybe he gets something good. You know what I'm saying? He should fight Richardson Hitchens if he's available. Richardson Hitchens number 13. You got Barbosa. Brandon Lee, he'll be back December 17th on the undercard of Frank Martin and Michelle Rivera. So y'all tap into that if you guys interested. Moving down, 135, we got undisputed Devin Haney. So they're working on a deal with him and Lomachenko. It's nothing that I heard of. Maybe somebody else got news, but that deal ain't done yet. So we waiting for a date. I heard before in March sometimes. For me, I feel like May it may be the proper date because Tyron got a lot of stuff going on. And like they're trying to get the undisputed fight, the heavyweight and stuff like that. So we'll see, man. And plus you got Ramadan coming up. But Haney and Lomachenko gonna fight next. You know, they just haven't had a deal finalized, but that's the fight they're working towards. You got Gustavo Lemon is the mandatory, you know. So he been inactive. I don't think he fought since he beat Lee Selby. So he hold on to that spot. Pitbull Cruz, you know, is already documented that he turned down the WBC route to face Shakur Stevenson. So he gonna go the IBF route. So he probably just waiting in the wings. He may fight an eliminator for the number 2 spot. You know what I'm saying? Just to stay active. If he gonna do that, you know, we gotta look at guys on the PBC. I don't know. He may face one of these guys in the rankings or something like that to get the number 2 spot. So that's important because if he wins and vacates, then the 1 and 2 spot they're gonna be able to fight for the vacant title. So that's what's up with that. Michelle Rivera, so I spoke on him. He's number 6 right here. He got Frank Martin. That's a good fight. Pretty much 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Number 13, Yoshino. Now, that's the guy that may face Shakur Stevenson since Shakur look like he going to the WBC route. That may be the opponent. So if you guys not familiar with Yoshino, feel free to tap in. He got 2 good wins this year. He beat former world champion Masayoshi Ito. That's who Jamel Herring took his title from. And he beat Nakatani. So, yeah, those 2 good wins right there. Nakatani is like a gatekeeper type of guy. Nakatani probably would have been, if Nakatani would have won that fight in November against Yoshino, he probably would have got Shakur Stevenson next. That's how they do shit. He's like the trial horse for that. So, yeah, we'll see. 130, we got Shaq Robinoff. We know he got to face Joe Cordina. Last month, Joe Cordina wasn't in the rankings, but he's in there now. He's number 3. We know that's just window dressing because he got Robinoff. You got Eduardo Nunez comes into the new rankings. I think he may have a good fight coming up on Top Rank. Y'all stay tuned for that. Um, you got let me see who else came in. Let me see. Oh well, they took out O'Shaquie Foster. That's because he about to fight for the vacant WBC. So that kind of that's the status quo how they do that. So nothing really too much. 130. They got two vacant titles, the WBC and the WBO. Shaki Foster versus Ray Vargas for the WBC. That should be coming up sometime, in the near future. And then you got Valdez versus Navarrete for the vacant WBO. So those titles will get filled. So we got Hector Luis Garcia, who is a WBA champion. He moving up to face Tank at 135 December the 7th. But win, lose, or draw, he'll have the opportunity to go back to 130 to defend his title. So he's not getting stripped right off the bat. So he already got that clearance. So that's what's up. All right, we got 126. So Josh Warrington, he's the champion. He about to defend his title this weekend versus mandatory Luis Alberto Lopez. That's a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? Could be on upset alert. Real, you know what I'm saying? Real tough fight for Josh Warrington. So that's on the zone this weekend. Y'all check that out. You got Kiko. Kiko in talks to get Lee Wood January 28th. We'll see. Mauricio Lara, that's a dangerous guy in this division. Robis Ramirez, he may be going down the WBO route, depending if Navarrete vacates. You know what I'm saying? You got Ray Ford down there. Now Ray Ford is number 3 in the WBA. So sometime this year he gonna get a title shot. They've been moving him well, facing top competition, tough competition, and now he looking like he ready to fight for the world title. So look out for Ray Ford. 122, we waiting for MJ. MJ got a medical exemption. He got to face his IBF mandatory, Marlon Sapalis. So whenever he's ready to get back in there, then we'll get that fight. But the rest of the rankings look, pretty much the same. Ain't no changes. Louis Neri is supposed to face. Well, he was ordered to face Zach Hovhannissian for the WBC, a WBC eliminator. You know what I'm saying? So Zelani Tete, he tested positive, so he's on the investigation right now. So we'll see if he'll probably lose his spot. Yeah, so pretty much the same. Moving down, 118. So we got Undisputed next week. Next week, the 13th, we got Undisputed. So a week from now. Inoue versus Paul Butler. You know what I'm saying? Undisputed at 118 pounds. Another undisputed. It may be, a lot of people saying it's going to be lopsided. I think Inoue stops him, but we'll see, my man. He's a he's a two-time world champion. We'll see what he brings to the table. But yeah, that's next week, December 13th. All right, the number 1 spot is vacant, but it's about to get filled. Number 3, Popopov. He's going to face number 6, Vincent Astrolabio. That's on the undercard of Michelle Rivera versus Frank Martin. So I know I've been saying those guys' name. That means that card going to be pretty decent. If you got 2 title eliminators on there, that pretty much means you got 50-50 fights. So for you guys that like to see competitive fights, we should have some good ones. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much nothing really too crazy with this division that changed too much. Jason Maloney, he trying to go down the WBC route. He's number 1 in the WBC and WBO, so he should have a title. Like soon as Inoue wins next week, he supposed to vacate and go to 22. And those belts gonna be vacant. So these guys is positioned themselves. So the winner between Popopov and Astrolabio gonna face Manny Rodriguez for the vacant IBF. That's why they position them like that. We seen Manny Rodriguez on Deontay Wilder undercard versus Gary Antonio Russell. I mean, that was a dominant performance, bro. He dropped him, hurt him a bunch of times, and it ended kind of crazy too. So yeah, but he's nice. He's a sniper with that right hand, so he'll have an opportunity. And then other guys in the other sanctioned bodies too. That's how that shit works. So it's good to position yourself. New Fat Boy Fitness in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute to you. 115, you got the champion Fernando Martinez He got a mandatory, Jay Bornea. Now I'm not sure if they ordered that shit yet, but he has a mandatory. I like to see him face Estrada. Estrada is the WBC champion. We already have a unification with the WBO and the WBA going down December 31st. Franco versus Ioka. So, as a boxing fan, we like to get undisputed and the best fight. So Martinez versus Estrada, that's a good fight. Estrada was sharp last weekend against Chocolatito. And Martinez is a strong, sturdy, rough type of guy. He gonna make you fight for Argentina. He just took Cajas to school twice, so that's a fight I would like to see. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. The one move in these rankings that stood out to me is number 4 at 115. Junto Nakatani. That's a nice spot. I know he going down the WBO route. He's actually the mandatory for Ioka versus Franco. He supposed to get the winner. But number 4, that's not a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he'll have another option or two. You feel me? 112, we got Sonny Edwards. So I think Sonny Edwards is the best in this division as it stands right now. Now I know Bam is coming down, and he's going to fight, and he's going to fight for the vacant WBO title. I understand that, and so I can't say he's the best right now. So I got to say Sonny Edwards, especially after seeing El Rey Martinez last weekend. So we'll see what's next for Sonny. He don't have a mandatory. He just made a mandatory defense. I like to see him unify with El Rey first. You know what I'm saying? If they can't get that, maybe against Dr. Canyon. He got a mandatory fight coming up versus David Jimenez. I think that's January 28th. Brother BF Yard undercard. So maybe Sonny Edwards can get the win of that. But Sonny Edwards, yo, he looking like he's the man. So we're gonna see. It's some big fights that get made at 112. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you guys really not hip to it, it's actually some good fights. And these guys got skills too. And there's some drama and storylines to go with it as well. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get everybody informed on what's going on. 108, you got the champion, that's Ganji. Now he's in voluntary stage. So in his division too, they can get undisputed at 108 as well, because my man Kenshiro is supposed to face the WBO champion Jonathan Gonzalez. They supposed to fight in May. That's a 3-belt unification. So hopefully the winner of that, we can get the winner. They can get the IBF champion, the Ganji, sometime later in the year. You know what I'm saying? But these rankings haven't changed. Nothing too crazy. But it's all about unification when you get down this low, because it's important, because these guys don't get a lot of love. So when you fighting, when the best guys fighting each other, then they start to get noticed. You got the champion Daniel Valadares. He's going to defend his title coming up. I want to say that in January the 6th. You got to make sure I tap in with that. It's 2 title fights on the line. The WBO champion defending his title on that card too, so the winners can unify. But he's facing number 5, Jinjaro Shizgaja. I can't even say this guy's name, but his highlighted right here. Y'all go check him out. This kid right here is supposed to be the next Inoue. They've been calling him Inoue and shit. So we'll see, you know what I'm saying, how everything plays out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good fight though. That's a good fight. And there's other stuff happening too in this division, 105, that don't get a lot of love. You got the WBA consolidation fight. You got CP Freshmart, the super champion, versus Eric Rosa, the regular champion. Those guys supposed to fight on a PBC card. We're just waiting to see if CP Freshmart will get his visa. You know what I'm saying? He's from Thailand. Eric Rosa is already over here training. He's a Dominican fighter, young guy. He's training with Carlos Adames and Hector Luis Garcia. He's in that camp. You know what I'm saying? Alberto Playo, he's in that camp. So he's already over here training. So we'll see. And hopefully we get some big fights in this division. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what it is, man. It really won't too crazy in these rankings. And IBF, they really don't have no shockers or nothing like that normally. It's just something I want to point out at 160. where Jaime Munguia was number 3 last month, and now he's unranked. And I don't know their moves. I don't know what they're doing. It's hard to read. You feel me? Because I hear Jaime Munguia talking about fighting Triple G, and then Charlo. Maybe Charlo is next. Or he trying to push for Charlo because he's still. I think he's number 1 in the WBC. Carlos Adames is the mandatory. He's the interim champion, so he's above the rankings. But Munguia is number 1. So if he talking about fighting Triple G and he comes out of the new WBA rankings, you know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, he comes out the new WBA rankings and the IBF rankings. Like like what they doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm trying to figure that shit out. Like just me, how I do my shit as a boxing fan. I'm trying to catch it before it happens. So I'm trying to see the moves they trying to make. So that's telling you Jaime Munguia more than likely gonna stay on that diet he been on. You know what I'm saying? He's probably stay on that diet. It is what it is. It's kind of disheartening because I think he's a good fighter, 41-0, and he's a former world champion, and he ain't even. It look like this team ain't looking to step him up, which is disheartening because I think he'll make for some fun fights. Like he's one of those guys you look at his resume, you may be like, how can he beat this guy or that guy? But I think he actually be a good. He might like for Charlo, for example. He faced Charlo. That may be Charlo's best win at 160. Like real talk. Even with Derevchenko and everybody else he's gonna face. Like Jaime Munguia, you want to do the box rate comparison. Jaime Munguia stopped my man, the guy he last fought, Matias. He stopped him. So I just want to see Jaime Munguia in big fights. I think he's a decent draw. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some of his fights at the crowds. He had a fight in California not too long ago. He had a decent crowd. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. So that's just interesting to me. He calling out Triple G, but he comes out the WBA rankings and now the IBF rankings. And then he just turned down Janabek. So they talking about taking him out the WBO rankings. So that just leaves him with the WBC. So if that's the indicator that he's going to go after Charlo, I'm cool with it. Charlo, I think Charlo, he owes Selecki a fight. You know what I'm saying? They may do that back in Houston because they haven't, when the fight got postponed, from what I heard and what I know, they haven't, like, you basically can hold on to your ticket because they're going to postpone, they're going to reschedule the fight. You know what I'm saying? So they haven't been given, refunds and shit. I'm tripping. They haven't been giving out refunds and shit, so you still can hold on to your ticket because they're supposed to reschedule it. So it probably be Charlo versus Selecki. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, hopefully, but then again, PBC just signed. They just got Demetrius Andrade. So hopefully we can get. I'd rather see Demetrius Andrade versus Charlo than Charlo versus Munguia. Just me personally, because they got storyline and history, and I think it's a great fight. But we'll see how this all plays out, man. That's why we do the rankings. I want to salute everybody coming through the building. I appreciate y'all guys' time. Make sure you guys, if you got social media, you can hit me up on my social media, Twitter at OverJ, Instagram, L Does Boxing. Feel free to tap in. That's my time, and I'm out.